Hey, what's up, guys? Christian over at Unfit Car Stereo. Today we're in a 2012 Volkswagen GTI. We're going to show you how to install well, first of all, we're going to show you how to remove the radio. And depending on what video you are watching, it's either going to be a radio removal video or a radio installation video. This car has the, I think, RNS 310, this is called, navigation radio, and we're installing the brand new Pioneer AVIC 8200 NEX. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to take out the radio. You're going to grab a panel tool. Panel tools come in a set of 5, or you can buy them individually. You get a big, decent discount if you buy the whole set. For this, I'm going to say we're probably going to use this one. This is the PPT3. All right, so you're just going to go over here, and you're just going to, once it pops out, do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Now, for this one, I would actually use the other one, the PPT4. Because this one it's what it's made for, is for wedging. But if you don't buy the whole set, because last thing you want to do is push on the buttons. All right, there it goes. All right, now once you get the other one out, you can either use this. I would actually use a bone tool, but let me see, for the sake of, let me see what I usually would do. You can get the job done with either one, but when you have the whole set, it makes it a little easier. All right, there you go, up here. All right, and then, all right, and then there, and then there. All right. All right, now when you take it off, you'll see these clips. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and every once in a while, see, if you look at all these clips, what they are is that they're plastic. So what happens is these metal clips are stronger than the plastic, so they don't always hold on. That'll be easier to take off once the radio's out. So all you got to do really is what we do, is you put them back in here, clean up this as much as you can, and put a little dab of crazy glue or hot glue on there. They're just not designed well, because metal's stronger than plastic. It's common sense. All right, now to take out the radio, you're going to 4 T20 Torx screws, counterclockwise. All right. There's 1, 2, 3, and oops, and 4. Now, once you get the 4 screws out, all you have to do now is pull on the radio, and it comes right out. Let me switch angles so we can show you the back real good. All right, guys, now next thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to pull out the radio and all the connections on it. So just grab the radio and pull it out. This is a little snug. Now what I'm going to do is you can use a towel or whatever you want. This is actually a toolbox draw liner. For you guys at home, if you go to your local hardware store and you get the stuff in the organization now, it's the same stuff for cheaper. All right, so we're gonna put that here, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it under it so we don't scratch up the radio. Just put the shifter back so we get a little more room. All right, so first thing we're gonna do here is just connect. This is the GPS antenna adapter. All this generation of Volkswagen have the satellite radio, XM Sirius satellite radio. They all have the XM Sirius built into the radio, so there's no external tuner. So if you're adding Sirius XM to your car, you have to buy the external tuner. All right, we'll show you that later in the video. All right, now if you go over here, the white connector, this one is going to be your AM FM. Okay, so all you got to do, just like the other one, oh, looks like this tab's already out, but you just put the little tab, pull it back, and then once it pulls back, you just squeeze, and it comes right out. Okay, so that's your AM FM. In the back of the car, you have the antenna's in the window actually. And then these 2 wires connect to the boosters. These are both for your AM FM reception. All right, now this little blue one is for GPS. So if you have a GPS radio, this will be back here. I don't think the Volkswagens have the antenna on the roof unless you have GPS, but we also have an adapter for this to use with the aftermarket radios. So same thing as that one. Release the tab. Let me just show you real quick in case you didn't get that. On all these adapters, what you do is you just release the tab, and once it's out, then you squeeze and it comes right out. Okay. Now, as far as the main harness, This is the main harness over here. Okay, so all we're gonna do for this is squeeze the bottom, and once you squeeze the bottom, the whole thing comes up like a lever. Okay, and then this right here is an input for a backup camera. This car is, the radio's equipped for it, but the car didn't come with it. So if you had a backup camera, there'll be a lever you squeeze and move out of the way. All right, this is the same removal for every radio, GTI, Golf, and I think even the EOS for this generation. So it's at about 2010. That's the end of the radio removal video. For you guys watching the radio installation video, we'll be right back. Real quick, guys, I just wanted to show you this before we continue with the install. For this car, we have a custom USB and auxiliary. Like I told you, my friend, well, I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but my friend doesn't use the auxiliary. He said, why am I going to use it? So this is a custom USB that plugs into the back of the radio. It's like factory style. We also have an auxiliary you can put in on the side of it. I have had other customers modify the USB because, you know, this radio has 2 USBs, so they've modified them to work, both of them. And also you can do the auxiliary. You kind of do a little, you know, drumming because they're designed, the aux is designed to go in here, but with a little bit of easy trimming you can fit them behind there. I just wanted to show that before we continued. And we also have a video on how to install these, so look out for that one too. All right. All right, guys, now we're going to show you how to mount the RMK PB-VW07. Pretty much it's the piano black because the shiny black matches the controls down below. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to mount the back plate. All right, it mounts using the factory mounting points. You got the 3 screws and an even 4 screws, and it even has like the little Y to fit the gap over here. All right, and then just don't over tighten it. Like I'm gonna have my clutch at 8, and then put opposite corners in. You don't want to over tighten and crack the plastic. Every once in a while, I get someone saying this thing is junk. And what happens is, if you over tighten it with the plastic, it's going to snap on you. I think I did both of these, but don't remember. What you're hearing is the clutch, so what happens is when it feels resistance, it lets go. That way you don't damage anything. All right, next thing is the metal cage. If you look at this metal cage, you see it has side tabs. For this car, we use the most forward one, so it's going to be this one. And then the opposite one, which is the bottom one on this end. And then when you look at the bottom, usually these 2. You don't have to go too crazy with the tabs. I might also recommend mounting this first, then going to the car and doing the tabs. Because sometimes if you bend the tabs too much, you might not want to go into the car. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do this one right here. And try to keep the tabs aren't going to do that much of the work. Once you put the radio in, the radio is going to squeeze out. And then that's really what's going to hold everything in. I've actually had cars come in here, well, not in this car, but like certain Audis, and they've actually put the radio cage in without bending any tabs and it holds fine. This is not the one I meant to bend. It was the one up top because you want the ones closest. So see, when you're here, it doesn't move. So we got the bottom, top over here, and then if you look at the top, you'll see this one and this one, and then on the bottom we have, we not being bend that one here, and then that one here. All right, so you see it's all nice and snug. Also try to make sure that you don't bend it so much so the cage is warped. You see the cage has even spacing. Well, actually, but anyway, it's snug enough right there. First thing we're going to do is the Sirius XM antenna. So we're just going to plug that into the factory antenna. Boom. Boom. This is at pretty much real time. We're going to put a little tape around here to keep it from pulling out while you're back there. All right. And then we're just going to take this antenna and just tuck this back here. Usually find like I usually put it between harnesses, so that way it doesn't rattle around. You just jam it. Actually, what the hell? The rubber band back there. There it is. All right. And then the next thing we have is the GPS antenna adapter. So like I said, this uses the factory antenna on the roof for GPS. AM/FM antenna adapter, dual. Boom. Put that in. So that is plugged into the SRWH VW07B. We also have a VW07M. The M version gives you a couple more features, like it shows a display on the cluster for certain radios, and it also shows you a couple more features on the steering control, and it also gives you, if you have the Climatronic, the display and all that stuff, and the parking sensors, which I don't think GTI ever came with. But anyway, so that gets tucked in back there. That gets plugged into the SRWH, the PMP PIO 0236. That's all gets tucked. All right, we got one. We got the SWCO PIO. Oh, don't forget to program this thing. So unplug it, give it 5 Mississippis, and then plug it back in. All right, so now it's programmed for Pioneer. So we got this. Mic we're gonna run. I'm just gonna run it in a few seconds. And this goes here, this goes here. What am I missing? That's it. It's so easy. Sometimes I feel like I'm missing something. All right, so the GPS antenna plugs into the Pioneer one. All right, and then we have the wired remote. The WR plugs into here. Some of you guys might want to tape the wired remote to this one. That way, if you ever have, sometimes people push it in and it slips out. XM Sirius goes up here, and AM/FM goes up here. Now the only thing it's missing is a microphone, and we also have the custom USB and AUXs down below. So we have the custom USB and AUX that go in front of the shifter. My friend who owns this car, he said if someone comes into my car and asks for an AUX, I just kick him out, because who uses AUXs? That's what Bluetooth is for. So that goes right in there. I get that click click. This goes right there. All right. And now this goes right over here. All right. Snapped in nice. Now I just wanted to show you real quick the difference. So that's the piano black, if you can imagine it. This is the one that matches the car. You see, it matches perfectly. Now that's the piano black. This one matches perfectly, piano black. You know what? Once we're done here, I'm gonna switch back and forth, so that way you guys can make up your mind. All right, so pretty much here. You wipe this down. I think it's too pretty to be this dirty, actually. All right, so I'm gonna put on the radio real quick. Oops. All right, so volume up, volume down. When you hit the right arrow, it goes to your presets. When you hold it, it scans. And then when you're on this one, when you go up, it goes one by one. All right. When you get a phone call, when you tap the phone button, it picks up. And when you hold it, it hangs up. Or if call comes in, when you hold it, it rejects it. All right. So that's it. That's the Enfig SRWH VW07B. And you know the rest of the parts we used. Yeah, videos brought to you by EnfigCarStereo.com. We sell and install. We also ship worldwide. If you're a shop, we have wholesale accounts. Thanks for watching. EnfigCarStereo.com. My name is Christian. If you have any questions. Oh, I forgot to. This has a RAP, which means that it will stay on until you pull out the keys. So you see the keys halfway out. When I pull it out, it pulls off. All right. Thanks for watching.